People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people.
They'll tell you it's not a big deal. 10 rounds is all you need.
You don't need 30 rounds to protect yourself.
Well, I'm going to tell you why this tiny difference is actually a giant threat to your freedom. Guys, first, hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you get notified when these videos get posted. If you like these breakdowns, keep checking us out over here at Patriot Defense Company. I thank all my subscribers. And guys, let's get into it now. So first, this is not a 30-round magazine. This is a 10-round magazine that looks like a 30-round magazine. And the reason I have this and I refuse to buy any of those little teeny tiny 10-round magazines in New Jersey is because every time I look at them, it reminds me of how neutered we've become. Living in America, our freest country in the world, New Jersey restricts us to 10 rounds. We have been so restricted that our government is telling us how we can defend ourselves against our government. So that's like if you were to go up and fight some guy and he was like, yeah, before we fight, I'm going to write this law that says you got to tie one hand behind your back and you also got to hop on one leg. In order to understand how we got stuck with the 10-round magazines, we got to back it up a little bit. The first ever magazine restriction in New Jersey came in 1990 with the assault weapons ban, assault firearms ban that also had a magazine restriction in there, which restricted it to the 15 rounds first. And that was signed by, what's his name? Jim Florio at the time. For nearly 3 decades, New Jerseyans only lived under that 15-round cap. Fast forward to 2018, after the Parkland school shooting, and they dropped that magazine restriction from 15 down to 10. Just like that, overnight, law-abiding citizens became felons. Obviously, they used that shooting, that Parkland school shooting, to push gun legislation that does not actually stop school shootings. It just criminalizes the law-abiding citizens that now have these 15-round magazines. Remember, it's not about crime prevention. The state can't produce any type of evidence that these magazine restrictions have all of a sudden reduced crime. So this is a quote from Thomas Jefferson, and I want to read it so I make sure I get this right. Laws that forbid the carrying of arms disarm only those who are neither inclined nor determined to commit crimes. Such laws make things worse for the assaulted and better for the assailants. They serve rather to encourage than to prevent homicides. For an unarmed man may be attacked with greater confidence than an armed man. That was, what Thomas Jefferson said, and it's exactly right. According to a RAND study, the average hit rate in a gunfight for an NYPD officer is just 18%. These trained officers still miss most of the time in a gunfight. Obviously, this is because it's a high-stress encounter, and it's something you can't really train for until you're in it. If police need more than 10 rounds, then why not civilians? Most civilians are much less trained than police, and they need to protect themselves as well. But the Second Amendment isn't really just about personal protection against robbers and criminals and people breaking into your home. The Second Amendment was to let the government know that we have them in check. Thomas Jefferson said, "What country can preserve its liberties if their rulers are not warned from time to time that their people preserve the spirit of resistance?" George Mason said, "To disarm the people is the most effective way to enslave them." And James Madison said, "Americans possess the advantage of being armed, unlike other nations." Do you really think Jefferson or Madison would have said that 10 rounds is plenty? 10 rounds is enough to protect yourself, to let the government know that you're not afraid of them. One of my favorite scenes in V for Vendetta is this right here.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people.
Isn't that the truth? People shouldn't be afraid of their government. The government should be afraid of its people. But it doesn't seem to be that way anymore. To some, that whole 10 rounds is enough. But it's much bigger than you think. It even matters globally. There's real-world consequences that have happened in the past because of citizens being disarmed and having their gun rights heavily restricted. In Nazi Germany, the Nazis disarmed the Jews for the Holocaust. In Venezuela, citizens were disarmed in 2012, and years later, people couldn't resist against the authoritarian crackdowns that were going on. Villages in Nigeria and Mexico were massacred by cartels and terrorists because the citizens were unarmed. Thank God in America, we are armed enough that does not happen here. It's not a thing that happens where just a group of terrorists can just take over a village or take over a city, a town, except for maybe Portland. I don't know if you remember the autonomous zone. That was pretty funny. But yeah, in America, that doesn't usually happen because so many people are armed. So in a place like New Jersey, where you only have the 10 rounds, it might not seem like much to people. But man, if something like that were to happen, which don't be ignorant, and don't be ignorant to the amount of safety that you've had, don't think it can't happen. So if it did, you would need that 20 extra rounds would mean life or death. The founding fathers meant for the Second Amendment to be a balance between the people and the government. If the government can arbitrarily say that 10 is enough, why can't they say 5 is enough and then reduce it down to 5? Drop a comment down below. Do you think it'll ever get there? One more shooting, one more criminal act that they could push legislation through? Don't think they wouldn't try to go to 5 rounds. The problem is, with all their laws and restrictions, criminals don't follow magazine bans. And multiple attackers and home invasions is very common. And that's a situation where 10 rounds might not be enough. Police often carry around 17 or more rounds in each one of their magazines. So why should a civilian that's protecting his family have any less than that? The Second Amendment was written for a reason, and it wasn't written with a 10-round limit. Every restriction is another step towards disarming a free people. And that's why New Jersey laws matter so much. It's not about 10 rounds. It's not about 30 rounds. It's about the freedom to protect yourself. If you believe in defending your rights, if you believe in the Second Amendment, hit that like and subscribe button. Send this video to somebody who says 10 rounds is enough. Yeah, you know what? I think 10 is good. Yeah, send this video to them and let them see what these laws are really about. Because once we accept the fact that 10 rounds is enough, the fight's already over and we've already lost. So guys, thanks for watching this video. Keep learning, keep training, come back for some more, and have a good rest of your night. Thanks a lot, guys.